Good afternoon, dear students. Let's begin the session in a minute. Meanwhile, let others join. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sanvi Learning Service. Today we are going to learn B reading of third unit, Human Relations. B reading is a poem. Okay, are you all ready? Okay, let's start today's session. It's a poem and it's a very, very important poem from the examination point of view as well as from the feminist point of view. Why I say so, you'll gradually understand when we move on to the poem. Usually this poem is always selected for choreography scripts in SSC exam, public examination. Another woman poem is often selected for choreography script. I will also explain you how to write choreography script at the end of the poem. Aim of learning this poem is to understand the uncordial relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. What is meant by uncordial relationship? If you observe in your house or around your house, you can find mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. How harmonious they are. Are they in harmony or do they fight often? Yes, very often we find they fight. Okay, this quarrel between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law is often selected as a theme in TV series. You can find some evening TV series where always this topic is discussed and the viewers get emotional seeing such a type of serials. Okay, so today we are going to learn about the importance of understanding between mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. I hope that you all know who is mother-in-law and who is daughter-in-law. Suppose a mother has a son. Son got married. He brings his wife to his house. She becomes a daughter-in-law, and for her, husband's mother becomes mother-in-law. Okay. Today's agenda is we'll go through the keywords, we'll have picture interaction, learn about the author, and we'll understand the poem. The poem, Another Woman. Are you all able to see the screen? Agansha, what happened? Okay, you can take your book, not a problem. Please take your book. Okay. Please listen carefully. The poem Another Woman is written by Miss Imtiaz Darkar. You can see in the picture the author. Okay. So before moving on to the poem, let me tell you a very important word that you will encounter in this poem. The word is extravagance. Please look at the word extravagance. Okay. What is meant by extravagance? By looking at the picture, what do you guess? What do you guess? Sharvani, can you please tell me, looking at the picture, what do you guess the meaning of the word extravagance? Please unmute yourself, Sharvani. Click on unmute. Okay, tell me, looking at the picture, what do you mean by extravagance? Can you guess?
No, that's shopping, na sir.
Yes, you found shopping. It's something related. Okay. The woman has done a lot of shopping here. The woman has done a lot of shopping here. Narasimha Reddy, can you guess the meaning? Narasimha Reddy.
Sir,
What may be the meaning of the word extravagance?
it was excessive shopping, sir.
Excessive shopping. Okay, Narasimha Reddy, you are there. It's almost right. Extravagance means what you call spend lavishly or having something in lavish, which is not necessary. This woman has done a lot of shopping. Her husband is carrying plenty of bags behind her. Is it all necessary for her? May not be. So having more than what we require is extravagance. For example, Narasimha Reddy has a Redmi phone now. If he asks his father for an iPhone 11 to attend online class in iPhone, I will get more knowledge. Father, please provide me an iPhone. So poor father purchases him an iPhone which costs almost ₹1,00,000. So purchasing an iPhone is an extravagance. Purchasing an iPhone is an extravagance. Whereas having a small smartphone is necessity here. So extravagance means having more than what is required. Okay. Look at the picture. This is a picture of a village woman sitting in front of the stove cooking something. Okay. Now let us see something about the author. Imtiaz Darkar. She was born in Lahore in Pakistan in 1954 and brought up in Glasgow, Scotland. She was brought up in Scotland. She is ranked on par with some of the famous women poets of India such as Kamala Das, Sujata Bhatt and Tara Patel. You see some of the strong women writers, women poets of India are mentioned here. You can look at Kamala Das or Tara Patel, Sujata Bhatt. These women poets are very famous who have taken feminism to the peak. You know what is feminism? Yes, arguing for the rights of the woman, protecting the rights of the woman. So they have written many poems and articles. These are some of the important women poets of our country. So Imtiaz Darkar, though she was born in Pakistan, she is also ranked with the writers who are mentioned here. So she is also such a wonderful writer, Imtiaz Darkar. Okay. She is not only a poet, but also a painter and an accomplished documentary filmmaker. She is not only a poet, but also a documentary filmmaker and a painter. Who is a documentary filmmaker? What is documentary film? A film that depicts a particular culture or a problem in the society is known as documentary film. For example, I make a short film based on the tribal society. There is a documentary film that purpose is to educate. Documentary films purpose is to educate people. Okay. Her collection of poetry includes Parda, Postcards from God, and I Speak for the Devil, The Terrorist at My Table, and Leaving Fingerprints. These are the collection of poetry that India's Darker has written. Postcards from God. This is the first book. Second book, Parda. Third book, The Terrorist at My Table. Fourth book, I Speak for the Devil. And the final one, Leaving Fingerprints. These are some of the famous writings of India's Darker. Okay. The poem that we are going to deal with is Another Woman. The title has a lot of significance. You will gradually get to know about the title when we move on to the poem. Another Woman. Another woman means one more woman. Okay. You can find a woman here. So let us begin the poem. This morning she bought green methi in the market, choosing the freshest bunch. First, let me read the entire poem to you. This morning she bought green methi in the market, choosing the freshest bunch. Picked up a white radish. Imagine the crunch it would make between her teeth, the sweet, sharp taste. Then put it aside, thinking it an extravagance, counted her coins out carefully, tied them a small bundle into her sari at the waist. Came home, faced her mother-in-law's dark looks, took the leaves and chopped them. Her hands stained yellow from the juice. Cut an onion fine and cooked the whole thing in the pot over the stove, shielding her face from the heat. The usual words came and beat their wings against her, the money spent, curses heaped upon her parents who had sent her out to darken other people's doors. She crouched as usual on the floor beside the stove. When the man came home, she did not look into his face, nor raised her head, but bent her back a little more. Nothing gave her right to speak. She watched the flame hiss up and beat against the cheap old pot. This was the house she had been sent to, the man she had been bound to, the future she had been born into. So when the kerosene was thrown, just a moment of surprise, a brilliant spark. It was the only choice that she had ever known. Another torch blazing in the dark, we shield our faces from the heat. Okay? Let us come back. So the opening lines of the poem, please look at. This morning she bought green methi in the market, choosing the freshest bunch. A woman goes to market, purchases methi. What is methi? The word methi is put in single inverted comma. You can see here. What does it mean? The word is not from English language actually. That is why. It's a local word. Methi means fenugreek. You can look at the picture, fenugreek leaves. Mendulu, you may say. Okay. She purchased, choosing the freshest bunch. She did not take whatever the vendor has given her. She chose the freshest bunch. That's what we always do. When we go to market, we select what we require, even tomato or potato, onions, fenugreek or beans, whatever we choose. Do you also choose mustard seeds when you go to shop? No. We just ask them to give 250 grams or half kg of mustard seed. Even some of you, I know very well, when you go to egg shop, what do you say? Please put the bigger ones. You will choose the bigger eggs. Okay, it will have more content. We don't opt for smaller eggs even. So we always choose the freshest one or the better one. This woman also chose the freshest bunch of fenugreek. Then she picked up a white radish. You can look at the picture. Radish is a vegetable, white in color. She picked up a white radish. We don't usually purchase radish often. Okay. Imagine the crunch it would make between her teeth. She just picked up a radish and just imagined Oh, it will be very crunchy between my teeth and it will have very sweet, sharp taste. Have you all tasted? Have you ever tasted radish? Just nod your head. I can see you all. No. Radish is not as you think. It's not very sweet. It will have sweet, sharp taste. Not very sweet. Okay. She imagined, oh, it will be very crunchy and sweet between. It will be very crunchy between my teeth. Let me purchase it. She thought. Then put it aside. Immediately she put aside. Why? Thinking it an extravagance, she thought that buying a radish is an extravagance. I have told you the meaning of extravagance. After reaching home, mother-in-law will surely scold me for purchasing costly vegetables. That's what she thought. So she counted her coins. Carefully, she counted her coins. Then tied them in a small bundle at the end of her sari, at the tip of her sari, and tucked it at her waist. Okay, that is what usually village women do. They neither carry a purse nor keep the money at hand. They tie at the tip of the sari and tuck it at the waist. So she counted the coins carefully and did it so. She came home, faced her mother-in-law's dark looks. When she came home, she had to face mother-in-law's dark looks. What do you mean by mother-in-law's dark looks? What do you mean by mother-in-law's dark look? Is the mother-in-law a dark woman, Amir? No, is the mother-in-law a dark woman? No, dark looks refer to angry looks. Once in public exam, the question was asked. What does the phrase mother-in-law's dark looks refer to? Option A. Mother-in-law was a dark woman, an angry look of mother-in-law. Some students have opted answer. Mother-in-law was a dark woman. So dark looks means angry look. She faced it. She usually faces it. Every day mother-in-law scolds her. You know, balancing is very difficult. In olden days, women were treated very cheaply in house. A man marries a woman, brings a woman to his own house. She has to do the entire household works. Getting up morning, sprinkling the water, drawing Mughal designs. You have one more beautiful lesson in 8th unit about the woman's hardships. Always, mother-in-law will never, I don't talk about all the mother-in-laws. Some of the mother-in-laws don't care. They care only their son. They never care a woman who has come from some other house. Every day dark looks will be there, quarrels will be there, partiality will be there. Lot of sound you can hear. Okay, most of the common households we find it. She didn't mind. It's a common thing that mother-in-law looks very angrily. She took the leaves, fenugreek leaves, and chopped them. Chopped means what? Cut. Okay. You can look at the picture. She chopped the fenugreek leaf. Her hand stained yellow from the juice. After cutting the fenugreek leaves, what has happened to her hand? Became yellow, stained. Stained means, you know, getting a spot. Sometimes on your dress, there may be stains. Isn't it? So her hand stained yellow from the juice of the leaves. She cut an onion fine and cooked the whole thing in the pot over the stove. She took an onion, cut it, and put everything, fenugreek leaves and the onion, totally she cooked it over the stove. Stove doesn't mean that she cooked it on a gas stove. It's a traditional kacha stove, we say, made of bricks using firewoods. If you sit in front of such a type of stoves, what happens? Lot of smoke comes out. Sometimes your mother may ask you to blow air into the stove, into the firewood to get it burned. Especially in winter, they may boil water using firewood outside the house. Such a type of a stove it is. She cooked everything over the stove. Shielding her face from the heat. This sentence has a lot of importance. While cooking in a stove which uses firewood, she just shielded her face. Why did she shield her face? The general meaning is, as there is lot of smoke coming, she shielded her face from the heat. The inner meaning of this line is, lot of scolding is heard from the mother-in-law. Mother-in-law is going on speaking, scolding her. So she shielded her face to protect herself. That is the inner meaning of this. She protected herself. She was trying to protect herself from the quarrels or the curses that mother-in-law was heaping on her. Okay? Is it clear, Archana? Okay. Venugopal? The usual words came and bet their wings against her. The money spent. Usual words. What do you mean by usual words? Every day mother-in-law scolds. Mother-in-law means, I hope that you understood mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Atta kodalu maybe. Am I right, Archana? Yes. Every day mother-in-law scolds. That is why it is told usual words. Usual words came and bet their wings against her. Words, do words have wings? No. Birds have wings. Okay. Words will not have wings. Only birds have wings. So what poetic technique did the poet use here? This is known as personification. It may be asked in the examination. I will tell you what is personification. Giving life to inanimate thing in the poetic language is known as personification. For example, river danced. Some poets will be writing sentences like this. River danced. Trees welcomed. River never dances. It's an inanimate thing. But the poet gives life to the river. That process is known as personification. So here the technique, the poetic technique used by the author is personification. See here, the usual words came and bet their wings against her. Words will not have wings, but poet used in such a manner. That is why it is known as personification. Usual words, scoldings were heaping on her. Why did you spend this much money? I told you to buy cheap vegetables. One or other reason, mother-in-law finds out one or other reason to scold daughter-in-law. Okay? Finds one or other reason. Usual words. Let us see the next. Curses heaped upon her parents. What do you mean by curse? Curse means bad words. Heap means fall one on other. Sand. Tractor will dump sand. How it will dump sand? It will dump sand on heaps. Means some on other. Heaps. So many curses, many bad words were falling on whom? Her parents also. Mother-in-law says, your parents had sent you here to darken other people's house. To darken other people's house. Usually we say, a woman is the lamp of the house, light of the house. Isn't it? Usually we say, woman is the lamp of the house. Kandiki velugu. No, indiki velugu. Indiki deebani. Okay, we say a woman is the lamp of the house. But in this situation, mother-in-law says, your parents have sent you here to darken this house. Because of you, this house is dark. Okay, these are the words spoken by the mother-in-law. Okay, scolded her parents also, not only her. Let us see what happens next. She crouched as usual on the floor beside the stove. Crouch. What is meant by crouch? You can look at this picture. Sit down is known as crouch. Sitting down is known as crouch. She crouched as usual. That means what? She never sits on the chair. She always sits on the floor. Why? Why doesn't she sit on the chair? She has no right. In olden days, woman has no right to sit in a public meeting or sit on the chair. Maybe in that particular community, they may not have any rights. So she sat on the floor beside the stove. Look at the stove. Is it a advanced gas stove? No. Okay, it is a conventional, traditional stove. Okay, now Swapna is also crouching on the floor. Means what? Sitting on the floor. Crouch means sit on the floor. Okay, carry on, Swapna. Okay. When the man came home, she did not look into his face. When man came home, this woman, wife, did not look at the husband's face. Why? Was he so ugly that we can't look at his face? Was the man so ugly that we can't look at his face? What's the reason that woman did not look at the man's face? What's the reason? Yes, she didn't have rights. Every decision is taken by mother-in-law and husband. She doesn't have right to look at his face even. Husband always support mother, not wife. Recently, I have seen a pic. I will draw it for you. This is a plank, a wooden piece. It is on the top of a hill. Okay? Who is standing here? Mother-in-law. Okay? Who is standing here? Daughter-in-law. Okay? And here, the man is standing here. Mother is calling from one side. He can't go there. Okay? It should be balanced. Wife is calling from other side. He can't go there. This man is between the Red Sea and the devil, we say. There is an idiom. Between the Red Sea and the devil means what? Between two problems. Man cannot support mother-in-law. Sorry, mother. If man supports mother, wife say, I know that you have more affection on your mother. I knew it. So what this man does? Man slowly takes the side of the wife. Then mother, I have carried you 9 months in my womb. I brought you up. I cared for you this many years. And now you have a lot of affection to a woman who came yesterday. Man is not in a position to satisfy both of them. Mother says, I have carried you 9 months in womb. Can man say, mother, you sit on this basket, I will carry you 9 years. Can he say? No, it's not possible. Okay, so man is in this position now. This is only an example, but in this situation, man is favoring the mother. That is why this woman, wife, is totally neglected. Wife has no rights. Okay? That is why the woman did not look at the man's face. It is not that the man is very ugly, cannot look at his face. Okay? It is a reason that she knows man will never support. Man will always support his mother. She knows it very well. That is why she didn't look at his face. Okay? So all of you can get some lessons from this poem, because in future you are also going to be, boys will be in the position of this man, and girls are going to be in the position of this woman. There should not be any inequality between boy and girl. Boy should treat the girl, or husband should treat wife in such a manner that she is happy. She left her parents and she came to your house. So she must be happy. There should be no partiality. There should be cordial relationship, not uncordial relationship. nor raised her head. She did not raise her head, but bend her back a little more. Means what? Bending back shows obedience. In olden days, in king's palaces, you can find whenever the servants come, what do? They bend the head, bend the back. It shows obedience. It shows obedience. So here, she did not raise her head. If she raised her head, what happened? Husband asked, what is that? Look, lower your head. Isn't it? What is that? Look, lower your head. Okay. So she doesn't want to get the trouble. She just bent her head. She did not raise her head. She bent her back little more. Means what? Out of fear, out of obedience. Okay. There are some people, they never bend their head in front of anyone. Only in front of a barber, they bend their head. Okay, that is compulsory. There is no second option. Okay. Nothing gave her the right to speak. She has no right to speak there. Every speaking is done by whom? Mother-in-law and husband. Every decision is taken by them. She is just a worker in the house, we can say. A slave, we can say. She watched the flame hiss up and beat against the cheap old pot. At present, where is the woman sitting? Beside the stove. She just looked at the stove. She saw the flame hiss up. Flame means the fire. Hiss up. Hissing is a sound made by snakes. Hissing is a sound made by snake. So here also the poet used personification. Why? Because flame hissing. Okay? Flame hissing. So the poet used the technique, literary tool, personification. And beat against the cheap old pot. Pot is old. And it will have black portion at the bottom. You can see. The pot which we use on the firewood stove will have a black bottom. Okay, flame was hitting on the pot. She watched it. She got some ideas. Let us see what is the idea. Either to burn mother-in-law and husband together or only mother-in-law. Let us see. Let us wait and see. Okay. This was the house she had been sent to. This is the house she had been sent to. Means what? Sent by her parents. Parents arranged her marriage. This was the man she had been bound to. Bound to means what? It was fixed. We say marriages are made in heaven. Already God has decided. So this is the man with a bomb in hand, you can see. Okay, this is the man that she was bound. Her destiny, fate was to get married to this person. Okay. The future she had been born into. This is the future she had been born into. What is the future? This is the future. That of a slave in the house, slave in the family. Okay? Before getting married, the woman may be multi-talented. But after getting married, her whole concentration is in household work. How well she can clean the floor, how well she can cook food, how well she can prepare tea, how well she can iron the dress of the husband and mother-in-law. Mother-in-law may be sitting on a chair and watching some TV series. If there is less salt in the curry, mother-in-law scolds the woman. So this is the future she had been born into. She hated her life. She hated her life. So when the kerosene was thrown, just a moment of surprise, a brilliant spark. Finally, kerosene was thrown. This is passive voice. Kerosene was thrown. By whom is not mentioned. Harshini, Induri Harshini, please unmute. Please unmute. Click on the unmute button. Click on the unmute button. The host wants you to unmute. Some message you'll be seeing there. Click on that. I think you are getting trouble. Okay, Smithika, please unmute. Please speak, I can't hear you.
Sir,
Who has thrown kerosene here? Who do you think threw kerosene on whom?
mother-in-law thrown on daughter-in-law.
Mother-in-law has thrown on daughter-in-law is what your conclusion. Okay, let us confirm with our Sainath Reddy. Sainath Reddy. Sainath Reddy, please unmute. Sainath Reddy, please unmute.
Where I
Once again, you are muted again. Okay, Smidhi has told mother-in-law might have thrown kerosene on her. Actually, just to see the next line, you will understand who has thrown kerosene. It was the only choice that she had ever known. It was the only choice. Now tell me, Sharani, who has thrown? Who has thrown?
Daughter-in-law.
She herself. Yeah, she herself. It's suicide. It is suicide. She herself. Sometimes in examination, the question will be asked, don't tell daughter-in-law threw kerosene on mother-in-law. Okay, that only should happen in this case. But this poor girl, she has no choice. She can't talk to mother-in-law. She can't talk to husband. Can she go back to her house telling that it is very difficult? No. Her own family members, parents have spent a lot of money to marry her off to a man. Sometimes they may be in debt. Loans may be there. So she doesn't want to trouble her parents. So only choice that she knew is to commit suicide. She herself committed suicide. Just a moment of surprise. Only a moment. A brilliant spark was there. A big flame was there. So generally in society, what we find is many children, many students, after completion of degree or so, or something without the permission of parents, they elope, they run away and get married. Afterwards, they suffer. The woman suffers a lot. If the husband doesn't take care, where will she go? Can she go back to her own house because she didn't take permission of parents to get married? Dear students, please understand the situation that this woman is facing. She has no one to speak to. She has no one to share her sadness, sorrow. This was the only choice that she had ever known. She thought for many days. No choice. She couldn't get any choice. When she looked at the fire, she got a choice. However, suicide is wrong. But in traditional family, olden days, there was nobody to counsel her. So she had to commit suicide. Another woman, another torch blazing in the dark. You can find another torch blazing in the dark. Another woman means what? Many women committed suicide like this, unable to bear the torture of mother-in-laws. Another torch is blazing in the dark. Blazing means shine brightly. Another fire you can find in the darkness. What is a fire? The fire of this burning woman. We shield our face from the heat. What do? We people of the society, what do? Do we take any action? Never. We shield our face from the heat. Oh, I should not get heat. Big fire is going on there. I should be safe. But the inner meaning of that is we never care for these sort of incidents occurring in the society. Only when it comes to our family, our friends, we react. Someone died of hunger in Uganda, Africa. What is there for you, Achida? Are you worried? Achida, are you worried? No, we are never worried. Who is he? Who is she? Who is that kid who died of hunger? We are never bothered because that is not affecting us. Every day we look at the paper early morning. to see how many cases, corona cases are there. You feel happy. I am not affected. Everyone is affected. Selfish nature. If it is our relatives or friends, we say, oh God, how sad. Corona cases are increasing, number is increasing, schools will never open. Hooray, we say. We are never bothered about others. Another woman died here. We shield our face from the heat means what? We just close our eyes from the harsh realities. We never raise our voice. Imtiaz Darkar has raised her voice against such type of tortures through this poem. Okay? So that is the end of this poem. We shield our face from the heat. What is the content you get from this? Yes, another woman is the title of the poem. What do you mean by another woman? Many women are facing this sort of troubles in their families. This woman is one more woman, another woman. Many women have committed suicide before her. She is just one more, another woman. There is a title, another woman. And we just shield our face from the heat. In the previous stanza, we learned woman shielded her face from the heat when she was cooking. In this stanza, we have seen people shield their face from the heat. That means we close our eyes without caring what is happening in the society. Okay, just a minute, stay on the line. Okay, that is the poem. You have textual question answers. All of you are requested to attempt those answers. And this poem has a choreography script. I will teach you how to write choreography in the next class. The bell has rung, the hour has come for me to leave. The next teacher will be available in a short time. And dear students, one more thing, yesterday there was a webinar. I hope you have all attended. If there is still anyone who didn't attend, I am posting the link of YouTube. You can watch it. It is all about career guidance in commerce. After SSC what course, if you choose, you can excel in your life. Okay, I have posted it in the chat box. Please copy and paste it somewhere, and at the end of the class, you can watch it. Please stay on the line. I hope that you have copied the link. Dear students, please don't hesitate. Don't forget to complete the classwork. Okay, it is 100% sure that you're going to have public examination. So each and every class is important to you. Have you all understood the poem, Another Woman? Yes, you have to read it once again. After going home, you are supposed to read it. Sorry, after completion of the class, you are supposed to read it once again. And in the next class, I will teach you see reading of this. Please read once and attend the class.
Good afternoon, Randall. Welcome to Shanvi Learning Services. Welcome to biology session, all of you. Please wait. I'm going to opening slides. Okay, as we have discussed how to form the HbO2 and how HbO2 will form like Hb plus O2. Later we have discussed about the gaseous exchange capillaries to cells and back. Now, in last class we have discussed about cellular respiration, bacteria, yes. See here. So in last class we have discussed about that respiration, two types of respirations. Here, as usual, glucose. Here in two steps oxidation process is going on. Okay, in two steps oxidation process going on. See here, sugar molecule is stored in a special compound called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which gives 7,200 calories of energy by each ATP. One ATP is equal to the 7,200 calories. Let I recall once. This energy is stored in the form of phosphate bonds. So in ATP, adenosine triphosphate, here these are also phosphate bonds. Okay, this particular ATP, this particular energy is stored in the form of phosphate bonds. Where it is stored in mitochondria. That's why mitochondria is considered as a energy currency of the cell. Here, see, look at the screen. A sugar molecule is stored in a special compound called ATP, which gives 7,200 calories. Okay, of energy by each ATP. By each ATP gives us 7,200 calories, not kilocalories. Here, calories only, 7,200 calories. This energy is stored in the form of phosphate bonds. Okay, this bond, phosphate bond is broken, the stored energy is released. So to break the phosphate bonds, here we required nothing but that cell required oxygen. Okay, to break the phosphate bonds, cell required oxygen. When oxygen reaches the cell, the bond is broken, the stored energy is released. Stored energy is released. See here, two stages we can observe. Oxidation process will take two stages. In first stage, glucose is converting to pyruvic acid, like pyruvate 3 carbon compound plus energy. This is called glycolysis. Glucose to pyruvate 3 carbon compound plus energy will be released. In first stage, that is a glycolysis. Glycolysis. Okay. What about here in second stage? Okay, listen carefully, very, very important this flowchart. That's why I am recalling once again. See here, glucose converted to pyruvate or pyruvic acid 3 carbon compound plus energy will be released. In this is called glycolysis. If they give directly, what is glycolysis? What you will write is glucose to pyruvate. Okay, in oxidation process, here we have two stages. In the first stage, glucose converts to pyruvate. Pyruvate is nothing but 3 carbon compound plus energy will be produced. So this is glycolysis. In second stage, if oxygen is present, in second stage, if oxygen is present, then that is aerobic respiration, which is down. Look at the screen, all of you. In flow chart, which is in down, that is a presence of oxygen. In stage 2, if oxygen is present, in stage 2, if oxygen is present, then it will go for the aerobic respiration. In presence of oxygen, which respiration takes place, that is a aerobic respiration. Please be attentive. Galaxy J prime. So, in this second stage, in presence of oxygen, aerobic respiration will occur. In this, carbon dioxide, H2O, and energy will be produced. Okay, carbon dioxide, H2O, energy will be produced. Okay, we human beings also one of the best example for this aerobic respiration. And one more thing here, maybe I have given in online test also this type of question. I thought given in which reaction large amount of energy will be released. Okay, so in this aerobic respiration, in stage 2 presence of oxygen, carbon dioxide, H2O plus energy will be released. Here, high amount of energy will be released. Nothing but large amount of energy will be released in this. Large amount of energy will be released. So, in aerobic respiration, carbon dioxide, H2O, energy will be released. Large amount of energy will be released in this aerobic respiration. Okay. So, in second stage, presence of oxygen is this one. Okay, aerobic respiration, fine. Then absence of oxygen. As usual, glucose 2, pyruvate 3 carbon compound plus energy glycolysis. Okay, completed in first stage. In second stage, if presence of oxygen, that goes for aerobic respiration, CO2, H2O, energy will be released, large amount of energy will be released. Okay, fine. In second stage, if oxygen is absent, or very low amount of oxygen, that's not considerable. At that time, then anaerobic respiration will take place and fermentation will take place. There is no oxygen or very low amount of oxygen. That leads to anaerobic respiration. In this anaerobic respiration, we have two types, like one bacteria and one yeast. If this anaerobic respiration occurs in bacteria, you just take an example of lactobacillus bacteria. If anaerobic respiration occurs in lactobacillus bacteria, what are the products, children? Lactic acid. Here, just simple lactobacillus bacteria, lactic acid. That's it. And energy will be released. Sri Lakshmi, are you sleeping? Okay. So lactic acid will be produced and lactic acid and energy will be released. What about second? In that only, in anaerobic respiration only, absence of oxygen or low amount of oxygen, or we can use this word also, inadequate of oxygen. Inadequate of oxygen. Very low amount of oxygen or absence of oxygen, whatever it may be. So in that example, bacteria will produce lactic acid and release the energy. Example, lactobacillus bacteria. Okay, fine. What about second one? Yeast. You just take a yeast. If we take an example for anaerobic respiration as a yeast, in this ethanol plus carbon dioxide will be produced and energy will be released. Okay. In anaerobic respiration, what are the products of yeast? Ethanol, carbon dioxide, energy. What is the formula of ethanol? C2H5OH. Okay, in your chemistry lab you can use this ethanol many times. Okay, ethyl alcohol, ethanol, like that, many are there. So here this will produce ethanol plus carbon dioxide and energy will be released in yeast. Like I will tell you one interesting matter about this yeast and lactobacillus. See, when you are adding a sample, 1 or 2 teaspoons of curd to the milk, lukewarm milk, it is getting converted, right, to the curd. because of lactobacillus bacteria. Lactic acid and energy will be released. And what about yeast? So commonly in bakeries, maybe you have any relation with bakery persons, so you just ask. So here they will take one some duff. Okay. Then in that they will keep some yeast material. Yeast. Okay, they will add yeast. Upon that again they will cover with some more duff and pack. So there is no oxygen, right? Absence of oxygen or very low amount of oxygen, then that leads to anaerobic respiration. Then yeast can produce ethanol. That's why when we are taking, like when you are eating the bun or bakery item, it will be sour, like a little bit alcoholic, sour taste, because of this ethanol. Yeast produced ethanol, and energy also will be released. And here carbon dioxide also will be produced. This release carbon dioxide. However, this is carbon dioxide is gas now. It won't stay there, right? It will try to come outside from the duff. So carbon dioxide will try to come outside from the duff. In that way, in that manner, from that bun, top part, by making holes, by making small holes, that particular carbon dioxide gas will come out. Carbon dioxide gas will come out. So in that way, that that particular duff, what duff is using, that will become like some bun fluffy. Like when you are eating, just you observe that bun, like holes you can observe, small holes. Okay, so that holes, who made that? Simply when that yeast involved in the anaerobic respiration, it is produced ethanol, energy and carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide gas came out from that holes. By making that holes, that carbon dioxide gas came out. That's why it will be fluffy and some look like bun. Okay, and it will taste also like ethanolic, like little bit sour alcoholic taste you will get. Okay, so that is a concept, children. And I go for next slide. See here, what is here now? Here we have one doubt. What is that? Can energy be released without oxygen? Can energy be released without oxygen? I'm not asking large amount or small amount. Just my question is, can energy be released without oxygen? Come on, tell me. Yes or no? If yes, please show your thumbs up. Show me thumbs up if yes. My question once again, can energy be released without oxygen? Yes. Why are you thinking? Just we have discussed just now. Glucose to pyruvate 3 carbon compound or pyruvic acid. Glycolysis, first stage, second stage, in presence of oxygen, aerobic respiration, absence of oxygen, anaerobic respiration. It means there is no oxygen or very low amount of oxygen. It means can energy be released without oxygen? Yes. You have seen in yeast, you have seen in bacteria, without oxygen, very low amount of, inadequate amount of oxygen. We got that like from bacteria, ethanol, lactic acid and energy. From yeast, carbon dioxide, okay, ethanol and energy. I did not ask you large amount or small amount. Can energy be released without oxygen? Yes, by the anaerobic respiration. By anaerobic respiration, energy can be released without oxygen. Okay, let us go once and discuss. Slide number 98. So you look at the screen, all of you. Here 5 members are there. They are doing something. What are they? Like here, a race by standing on the track. A race by standing on the track. And pointing for a few minutes to soak up with oxygen. First, the race with very little extra breathing. Right or not? Yes, you may have experience with that in running race. A race by standing on the track and pointing for a few minutes to soak up with oxygen. Pointing for a few minutes to soak up with oxygen. First, the race with very little extra breathing. Right or not? Yes, the race with a very little extra breathing. Okay. Next. The fastest sprinter. The fastest sprinters do not breathe at all. The fastest sprinters do not breathe at all. When running 100 yards, when running 100 yards after the density, you feel very different. After the density, you feel very different. The fastest sprinter, already in your textbook, one person athlete photo is given. Milkha Singh. Milkha Singh photo is given. Okay, Milkha Singh photo was given on right side, I think 34 or 35 page number. Okay, so the fastest sprinters do not breathe at all. When running 100 yards after the density, you feel very different. See here, the fastest sprinter do not breathe at all. When running 100 yards after the density, you feel very different depending on the race until your breathing gradually returns to normal. Depending on the race until your breathing gradually returns to normal. Okay, listen carefully once again. A race by standing on the track and pointing for a few minutes to stoke up with oxygen first. The race with very little extra breathing. Race with very little extra breathing. The fastest sprinters do not breathe at all. When running 100 yards, after the density you feel very different. After the density you feel very different depending on the race until your breathing gradually returns to normal. Okay, see here, the energy produced the ATP, adenosine triphosphate already present in your muscle. Okay, the energy produced the ATP already present in your muscle was being converted to ADP, adenosine diphosphate. The energy produced the ATP already present in your muscle was being converted to ADP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. ADP means adenosine diphosphate. There is tri here, di. Adenosine diphosphate. Tri means 3, di means 2. The graph shows the analysis of blood of a person. The graph shows the analysis of blood of a person during and after exercise. Let us see the graph. See here. That particular exercise and a graph. Here x-axis, y-axis, given numbers and check the graph. See, they are doing some exercises here with the dumbbells and etc. Right? Let us once go back. See here, the energy produced the ATP already present in your muscle was being converted to ADP, adenosine diphosphate. The graph shows the analysis of a blood of a person during exercise and after the exercise. during the exercise, after the exercise. See here, white curve and red curve. The energy produced, ATP already present in our muscles was being converted to ADP, adenosine triphosphate. The graph shows the analysis of blood of a person during the exercise and after the exercise. Okay. Now, the athlete, I have told you already one name, Milkha Singh. Okay, which photo is there in your book? The athlete taking part in the experiment. The athlete taking part in the experiment had to stay still where the apparatus was. The athlete taking part in the experiment had to stay still where the apparatus was. He pedaled. See next figure. He pedaled a stationary bicycle. Or the athlete taking part in the experiment had to stay still where the apparatus was. First figure. Next figure. He pedaled a stationary bicycle. He pedaled a stationary bicycle or ran on the treadmill. See, ran on the treadmill. Next, some results are shown in the graph. Okay. Here, athlete taking part in the experiment had to stay still where the apparatus was. He pedaled a stationary bicycle or ran on a treadmill. Some results are shown in the graph here. Ran on a treadmill. See, results are shown here on the graph. Okay, just look at the screen. Observe that white curve and a red curve on the graph. Next, vigorous exercise. Vigorous exercise lasted for 9 minutes and regular blood samples were taken and analyzed. Vigorous exercise lasted for 9 minutes and regular blood sample. Regular blood sample were taken and analyzed one particular compound in the blood. One particular compound in the blood. Lactic acid was found. The compound lactic acid was found to vary greatly in its concentration. In its concentration, as we see from the graph. One particular compound in the blood. One particular compound in the blood. What is that? Lactic acid. Lactic acid was found to vary greatly in its concentration. Lactic acid was found to vary greatly in its concentration, as we see from the graph. See here. Blood lactic acid. See here, x-axis, y-axis. X-axis, time in minutes, and what about y-axis? Y-axis, concentration of lactic acid in blood, milligram per centimeter cube. Here, x-axis, time in minutes. Don't write simply time, because time we can express seconds and hours, minutes also. So here, time in minutes. X-axis, time in minutes. Y-axis, concentration of lactic acid in blood. What about y-axis? You have taken here concentration of lactic acid in blood, that also milligram per centimeter cube. Okay. Next, see here, accumulation of lactic acid. Accumulation of lactic acid result in muscular pain. Okay, if you sit in long journey without moving, like without walking, you will get pain because accumulation of lactic acid. So accumulation of lactic acid result in muscular pain. Muscular pain. Okay. So accumulation of lactic acid result in muscular pain. Okay. Then let us see in next. See here, accumulation of lactic acid result in muscular pain. Take walk brisk. Okay, take a walk, brisk walk, or slow jogging, or running for same distance. We feel that there are increase in pain levels. This is because of lactic acid accumulation, children. Okay, accumulation of lactic acid result in muscular pain. Take walk, brisk walk, slow jogging, running for same distance. We feel that there are increase in pain levels. Increase in pain levels. This is because of lactic acid accumulation. Okay. So accumulation of lactic acid result in muscular pain. Take brisk walk or slow jogging or running for same distance. We feel that there are increase in pain levels is because of lactic acid accumulation. So what did you get from this? The accumulation of lactic acid, we will get a muscular pain. Okay. So that is the concept. Due to accumulation of lactic acid, we are getting pain in muscles. Okay. So if we take rest, if we take oxygen, then when oxygen enters into our body, tissue, muscle, then slowly this pain will go. Slowly entering of the oxygen, then lactic acid will move out. Then we will get relief from the pain. So by this, what did you know that? Accumulation of lactic acid causes the pain in muscles. Okay, pain in muscles. Okay, so in long journey, so without taking movement of any, we will feel pain in muscles because of accumulation of lactic acid. That is the main reason, children. Okay, then it's time up. I am going to wind up the session. In next class, let us meet with beautiful slides and about the active muscles and how that gradually removed from the blood after the exercise, like how that lactic acid can be removed gradually. Let us discuss on that. We will come up with beautiful slides. Till that, bye. Thank you, Ananda.